Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode, of the Spearhead Sundays podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Spears. Let's get into it. It's the election special, okay? This is the last podcast before the world changes, before everything as you know it is ruined. The world's gonna end because your favorite candidate lost. That's what I'm predicting. Whoever wins, we lose. No, I've got a good episode for you here. We're going to talk about the election stuff. Obviously, I want to get into the recent stuff that's happened with Tony Hinchcliffe, the Joe Rogan podcast, a bunch of stuff that Elon Musk has done. Then we're going to get into me learning the harmonica, which, is embarrassing, but I'm sticking with it. And an update on the big swing. But we're mainly focusing on the election today because it is the last episode. So I got to get my Spears prediction in. All right, now, so where are we? So right now I'm recording this on a Thursday. So this will come out on Sunday, a few days before the election. Now, I'm going to be honest, before the events of the last few days, I was a lot more confident and pretty much 100% all in on Trump winning. I think that Kamala Harris has like an uphill battle to run in terms of like, she's just so new. She wasn't chosen by the people. She's the vice president, so she's been around, but she hasn't been campaigning anywhere near as long as Trump has been campaigning. That's the advantage of when you're like the opposition, the guy that's going to run against the current president, is you're essentially campaigning for the other president's entire term, and then also while that president is campaigning. So you've got a huge head start in terms of getting the idea in people's heads that you're going to be the president. And Kamala Harris obviously hasn't done that at all because she's been the VP and Joe Biden's been the president, and they were so set on running Joe as the president, which I've got to say, if she loses, it's because they didn't swap him out sooner. Ultimately, they kept him there way too long, with the entire world just watching the guy's brain melt and him getting older and more senile and visibly more like distressed. It got to a point, remember where everyone was just like, dude, is this elder abuse? Where everyone was just watching this poor old man stumble around on stage and struggle to finish sentences, can't answer questions, can't think clearly. Like every now and then he would have like a burst. They would inject him with whatever they were giving him and he'd be back to normal. But then it was like watching Joe Biden was like the movie The Substance. Have you seen that? There's this movie where this woman takes a drug and it makes her incredibly beautiful and hot. But if she keeps taking it, it starts to destroy her and she can't remain beautiful and hot forever. So eventually it wears off. I reckon they were giving that to Joe Biden. The Substance. Every now and then he would just be completely lucid and he would nail a speech and people would be like, that's my president. And then within 40 minutes he'd be like, no. My brain is falling out of my ears. You can watch it dribble out of my nose. And obviously Kamala Harris just had to be there and be like, yeah, he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. He's totally fine. He's the president. He's going to be the president. He's going to run. I support him 100%. Change my mind. I'm going to be the president. And I feel that it's like a lot of whiplash for people. All right, so she's running uphill there. I also think that she's running uphill like the Israel-Palestine stuff really works against them. I think that's a huge, massively important issue that her base really cares about. And she is just, going with the let's give them unlimited money and let them bomb the shit out of the other country angle. And obviously people who would normally have voted for her enthusiastically are going, almost at best, ugh. Well, I guess the other guy will be worse. I think that's maybe why, this election is so close. Because at the moment it could go either way, right? And we'll get into who I think's going to win. And why I'm not as confident as I was a few months ago, or a few weeks ago even, right? I think that what really works against Kamala is that no one that I've seen, and it's the same thing with Joe Biden last time. No one that I've seen is like excited to vote for her. No one's like, fuck yeah. Whereas the people that are voting for Trump, they're all like, let's go. We love it. We love this guy. It's like love versus, I guess. And when your voting is not compulsory, what gets people to leave their fucking house? Probably love and excitement. Although hatred's very powerful, you know? Right? If you fucking hate Trump, you will get out of bed and vote for the other chick that you're not very excited about. That being said, though, I think that Trump has damaged his campaign so much over the last couple of weeks with someone who, like, this election's going to be really close, right? And when it's really close, you have to go after normal people. Normal people. And that includes women. I know. All right? I think they're weird freaks too, these women. But for some reason, all right, they have a say. I don't like it any more than you do, all right? But this is the world we live in, and for some reason, these bitches get an opinion. Oh, you think we'd hear enough of it in the house? Can you do this? Clean them off yourself. Why don't you flush the toilet? Yap. You want to give that an option and an opinion on the rights of their own body? Ridiculous. I don't want to have to get an abortion with a fucking clothes hanger. Well, I would like $1 million, but I'm not going to win the lottery anytime soon, am I? That's unrealistic. Anyway, I'm thinking about pivoting to a red pill podcast. Do you guys like that idea? I think I could make it work. You know, I think before I was. Here's what I think. Right? There's a very fine line between red pill podcast and incel podcast, and I've been thinking about it a lot because obviously I want to choose my lane. I think really it just comes down to like a jawline. You know, like if you look at 2016 Lewis, he would smash an incel podcast. Dresses for it, got the lack of chin for it, very underweight, bad teeth. Could really decimate the incel market. And there's a lot of money to be had here, all right? They're like, incels are often like gay dudes, right? Minus the sex. Large disposable income because there's no kids. But unlike the gays, the incels never leave the fucking house. So all they're doing is just buying shit online. That's a strong market. All right, how do you think G Fuel keeps the doors open? The incel dollar. It's better than the pink dollar, I'm telling you, bro. But now that I've got a jawline, I don't know, I think like I've got to go red pill, you know? Because a lot of the red pill guys, as insane as they are, quite handsome dudes. Quite good looking. Like some of them are so good looking, it makes you think like, dude, why do you hate chicks this much? Did somebody's mummy not give you enough hugs when they were a little boy? Hey? And now you're angry at all women? No? Did somebody have a tumultuous relationship with their mummy? And now every time that they look at a woman, they can just see their mother staring at them with disdain and not giving them the hugs that they wanted when they were a little baby? Huh? And now you get on a podcast and invite OnlyFans whores on and defeat them in debates? And be like, see, all women are whores. I've invited a whore on to prove it. To prove that all black women are fat, I've invited a fat black woman onto my show, and I will bully her. Did you know that every single dog is a pit bull? I've invited a pit bull on my show to prove it. There's no such thing as other dogs. They're all like this one. That being said, though, Andrew Tate has one of the weakest jawlines I've ever seen, and he's kind of leading the red pill market. Maybe that's why he was so good at kickboxing, because no one could punch him in a chin that you don't have. That's why I'll never be a UFC fighter. I've got a jaw to break. Before, if you threw a shin at my face, it'd fucking glide off. I'm significantly less aerodynamic now, and unfortunately, that comes with a lot of benefits. One of those benefits being, I get more views on TikTok. Have you heard about this? There's this new, huge, massive investigation about the TikTok algorithm dropped. And I know I just warning for all the new listeners, I'm about to go on a fucking wild tangent. We will get back to the election, but we're here now. This is the show. The podcast is growing, and this is what it is. If you don't like the wild tangents, listen to something else. Anyway, they released this huge investigation about the TikTok algorithm, and what they found was official policy. Like, this is not like, rumor or hearsay. This is like official policy that the algorithm literally hides ugly people and deranks them in the algorithm. That's the most Chinese app shit ever. Uglies, back of the queue. We don't want to see you on our fucking algorithm. Get rid of them. And this is true. Attractive people are put in front of more people. And this, obviously, we know that this is like a phenomenon in every form of media, but it's not automatic. It's more like human nature. Like, you see a beautiful person, that's nice. I like that. I'm going to look at that movie. I'm going to open that magazine, right? That's like our brains doing that. But never before have we had a machine being like, ugly, 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 get to the back. Hottie, put them on the front page. And this goes for everyone. This goes for like people who are not influencers. So if you're a high school kid and you follow 200 of your high school friends and they all post, you're only going to see what the robot determines to be the most sexually attractive minor. That's an issue. That's not good. We don't want that. But you know what? You know what's absolutely crazy? Ever since I got my new chin, I have been getting so many more views and impressions on TikTok. All right? And I know what you're thinking. Oh yeah, but Lewis, you're making better videos now. That's true. However, I have not seen the same increase on Instagram or on YouTube Shorts, where I'm posting the same videos. And the algorithms are pretty different, but what I've noticed is that the YouTube Shorts views are getting views that are consistent that I would get on YouTube Shorts pre-chin. The Instagram Reels, I'm getting views that are consistent pre-chin. TikTok, I'm blowing my previous videos out of the fucking water. Everything I drop is getting like 300,000 views. I posted a video of me hanging out with birds. It did 2 million views. I don't think I was going to get that many views on a video when my teeth were fucked and I had no chin. I've never seen anything like it. I haven't gotten 2 million views more funny. TikTok has just scanned the dimensions of my new face and is like, hottie, put him out there. Send him out in the front lines. Here's something for the uglies to watch. And this is official TikTok policy. They've uncovered memos, like internal memos, that literally say stuff like, people don't like to look at less attractive people, so we're going to rank these up, right? And this this investigation has basically unveiled all of this, which we suspected that it was true, but we kind of were like, maybe our worst faith interpretation of the algorithm was like, the algorithm would identify that attractive people perform better and then would like, oh, this video's going better, so let's show it to more people, and not know that the video is performing well because it's an attractive person. Do you know what I mean? It would just go, oh, this video is good, let's put it out there to more people. No, that's not what's happening. The algorithm is scanning your face and going, ugly, don't put it out there. Hottie, put him on the front page. Like, it's scanning your face before determining if your video is good. So basically, I mean, I'm the evidence, right? I'm making roughly the same quality short content as I was before. It's performing so much better. I've had stand-up clips that I think are way funnier than what I'm putting out right now that haven't gone anywhere near as well. And it's because I have a new face. It's wild. And reading this investigation, the article didn't mention this, right? But I thought about this. Okay, I haven't seen anyone else talk about this either. It's made me think that's why TikTok has face filters, right? Because it knows that the more attractive people you see, the longer you'll spend on the app. This goes for men and women, right? So before and I think most people would think that like, oh, when I post a photo or a video, the face filter is for me, the poster, right? Because I want to post a photo where I look good. That's not true. That's what we think is happening. What's actually happening is the face filter tools are so that other people don't have to look at your fucking ugly face. So it makes every single person on the app significantly more attractive. Even the attractive people that are hot in real life makes them more attractive so that other people spend more time on the fucking app. It's like, what are they doing? What's the term? I'm trying to think of the word. It's like they're, I don't know what the word is. It's like they're optimizing their least effective parts of their business, which is ugly people posting. Like, basically what this investigation was saying was like, if TikTok could figure out a way to make ugly people use the app but not post, they would. I mean, they've essentially made that materially true, where they let uglies use it, but if you post a video of yourself, no one sees it. It's like if an ugly person posts a TikTok, does anyone see it? No. If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around, does it make a sound? If an ugly person uses TikTok and they're so horrific to look at that TikTok deranks their videos, does anyone see it? It's so fucked. No wonder everyone's like unbelievably insecure, because not only are people like manicuring what they post and talk about, no one really talks about their failures. That's why I try to make a habit of like when I'm trying to work out something, or if I'm not doing very well, or if I'm going through struggles, I try to vocalize it because it's normal. You know, I don't want to, but even then it's like filtered through. I'm not really going to talk about it if I can't make it funny or interesting or insightful or whatever. But not only are people not posting their real life, so already before the app even intervenes, you're not posting what's really going on or what you really look like because it's good lighting and it's a cool photo of you doing something or whatever. Then TikTok gives you the tools to edit your face, and Instagram edit the colors, and maybe you've even fucking put it through Facetune before you even put it on the app, make it look even more attractive. Then you hit post, and before your post gets seen by anyone, TikTok goes, is this person a hottie or a naughty? And if you're a naughty, no one sees it. It'll be like, I show it to his mum, she'll like it. She loves him. I don't know how, because algorithmically, this guy's horrifically ugly. I love TikTok so much. It's the most Chinese app of all time. Right down to there being two different versions of it. In China, the app makes their children smarter. It promotes studying, good behavior, morals, ethics, and hard work. In America, it makes every teenage girl horrifically suicidal, promotes people doing galaxy gas until their brain falls out of their ass, and says, if you're ugly, you don't deserve to be seen, freak. Even with the face filter. Anyway, follow me on TikTok. So, I think that Trump has damaged his campaign. You see, I'm doing the weave. Isn't that what Trump called it? I'm weaving. I go away, but then I always come back. I'm weaving. It's the weave. So, about a week ago, or like less than a week ago, I was all in on Trump winning. Like, I was like, I think it's going to be really close. So I won't necessarily be surprised if he doesn't win, because it's going to be really close. But I think he edges it, right? I think he wins. Don't Google Trump edging. I think that he wins, right? A week ago, I was like 100% he's winning. It's going to be really fucking close. It's going to be down to the wire. We're all going to be watching the TV, biting our nails, going, oh my God, what's going to happen? But he'll win, right? Since that rally at Madison Square Garden, I think he might have fucked it. If he loses, it's that rally. So, Trump does Madison Square Garden, right? Which, really, it should have just been like him and a couple of musicians playing music, and it would have been in the bag, because his speech, if you watch it, he does a great job. He doesn't say anything crazy. He doesn't say anything too inflammatory. He just revs his bass up, and he's a little bit more normal to try and get some swing voters in. He did a great job. He had Grant Cardone being like, Kamala Harris is a fucking whore. He had a bunch of other people yelling about Kamala Harris and trashing her and saying all of this like horrific shit about her. And I'm watching it going like, dude, do you realize that women vote, yeah? Like, I feel like both these two campaigns are like, Kamala Harris has no idea how to connect with men. Trump only knows how to piss off women. And then Tony Hinchcliffe gets up, and look, I'll say this. Tony's jokes were great. I thought they were all funny. I thought they were all really well written. However, worst place to perform them. Dude, doing roast race jokes at a political rally, of course, is going to backfire politically. Not for Tony, because the jokes were funny and everyone who likes comedy sees it. Well, maybe that's his plan, right? I feel like if Tony just wanted to expose his comedy to the world and become a more successful comedian, nailed it. If he was trying to support Trump, fucked it. Like, did the worst job ever. You know? The guy gets out there and is like, oh, so, you know one of the most important voting demographics in almost every single swing state, every battleground state, Puerto Ricans, Latinos? Yeah, they live on an island of trash. Instantly. Bad Bunny, Ricky Martin, every single fucking Puerto Rican entertainer, all the Latinos start endorsing Kamala Harris. Bad Bunny posted an 8-minute fucking documentary for Kamala Harris about how good she is. Bad move. Doesn't help. Grant Cardone's up there going, yeah, Kamala Harris is a fucking whore. She sucked her dick on her way to the top. He had some real bad pics performing or speaking at his rally. And I'm a comedian. I think Tony, his jokes were great. I think it was just like, how the fuck could you do well at a politician's rally? Like, the only times I've seen comics do well at political events are like those press dinners where it's essentially a fucking roast event, where even the president gets up and roast the press and other people there. Like, it's to do jokes. But when it's a rally and you get up there and you start doing roast jokes about races and cities and this and that, it's like, a lot of people are going to see that and be very confused. Be like, is this comedy or is this like like what's going on? So that rally, if he loses, I actually for real think that maybe Tony Hinchcliffe has cost Trump the election. Brother, if he doesn't win states with a high population of Puerto Ricans, which there are a lot of, and they're all like battleground states, that Republicans or Democrats could win, essentially depending on which ones Puerto Ricans vote for. If Trump loses those states and that means he's lost the election, Tony Hinchcliffe lost the election for sure. Which makes it the first, between Joe Rogan, Theo Von, Tim Dillon, Andrew Schultz, Tony Hinchcliffe, this is going to be the first election that will be decided by comedians. Isn't that fucking crazy to think about? Remember when everyone lost their mind because Jimmy Fallon ruffled Trump's hair? Those people would be having strokes watching people do 3-hour podcasts with Trump having a friendly chat. Like, comedians, this election cycle kind of will be the reason Trump wins or loses. If he wins, it's because he crushed it on Joe Rogan. It's because he did a good job with Theo Von. If he loses, 100% Tony Hinchcliffe. I just think that's so funny.
Hey, this episode is sponsored by Manscaped. Use code 20spears at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping on your Manscaped products. Dude, I'm not even going to do the ad read copy here. They just sent me their new beard trimmer and it's phenomenal. It's the best trimmer I have ever used on my face. I've tried so many. I've always struggled with like trying to keep my facial hair to a certain length and lining up my beard. I've tried like disposable razors. I've tried multiple different beard trimmers. This thing that they just released is amazing. It's got 2 different blade heads. One's for trimming. It can go do really, really close, or it can do variable lengths. The other one is for lining up. Dude, I lined up my beard before I did this, my neck. It's amazing. It's so good. It's exactly what I want. It's really good. They're magnetic heads. The thing's waterproof. It lasts for ages with one charge. I charged it once. I haven't had to recharge it for so long. It doesn't pinch me. It doesn't cut me. It comes with like a sick case that I'll use when I'm traveling. And it comes with attachments for trimming it at variable lengths, which I haven't tested yet because my beard's not long enough. But dude, this thing is incredible. Look, I haven't even taken this thing off. It's actually good. It's even got I think it has a light on it as well. Yeah, it's got a light. Man, Manscaped, their products, every time they release something and they send it to me, they get better and better and better. I could not be prouder to have them as a sponsor on the show. I use their trimmers for my privates. I've now got an amazing beard trimmer, the best one I've ever used, which is amazing because I've used so many and they pinch me or they cut it too fine or not short enough and they annoy me and you don't have the control. This thing with the variable head, it's waterproof, it charges. I don't know what to tell you. It's the best beard trimmer I have ever used in my life and they're so affordable, especially with a discount code. Use code 20spears at manscaped.com. Great gift, Christmas gift for the fathers or the boyfriends or the brothers or whatever. But also, dude, get one for yourself. If you are trying to figure out your facial hair, get this trimmer. If you're just looking to trim your balls and your puss, they've got that too. All right, manscaped.com. Use code 20spears for 20% off and free shipping. Support the brands that support the show. That's how we keep it alive. This thing is awesome. I don't even need to read the copy. Get it.
And you know what's hilarious? Tony loves Trump too. He's always talking about how you need to vote Trump and this and that. It would be so funny if Trump loses and it's because of those battleground states and which way Puerto Ricans voted. If that happens, Tony's going to be like, oh, fuck, I thought I was helping. Bro, could you imagine? I just think like, that Tony did a great job. I also think, why the fuck would you book him for a rally? Like, honestly, think about this. You're trying to get Trump to win. If Tony crushed it, did a really good set, and didn't have any controversy that we're seeing now, would that have helped at all? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone would have gone out and voted because a comedian did a good set at the Trump rally. I think that putting a comedian up there, no matter who it is, you're only going to lose votes. And that's just because comedians are not cool, dude. Like Taylor Swift endorsing you, you're going to get some votes. Me being like, oh yeah, vote for Anthony Albanese. I'm only going to cost him votes. Could you imagine that? The Australian version of that? That'd be like me doing a set at a rally for the Liberals. God, I'm just imagining, like, comedy is so dictated by the environment in which it is performed that a fucking rally, even if it's at Madison Square Garden for a politician, yeah, you're probably not going to do well. Just think it's so funny to fucking imagine. That's going to be the biggest bombs of all time. If he loses the election and it's because of Puerto Ricans, that's a bomb that'll go into the history books. Like, in 10 years, people are going to be reading that in history books, in civics class. Donald Trump was set to win the election until Tony Hinchcliffe told this joke. Why do you think this joke cost Donald Trump the election? I think it's because... I think it's because he said Puerto Rico was an island of trash. So funny. And again, I thought it was a funny joke. I thought all the jokes that he did were funny. But like, you could tell, but why were you performing in there if you're trying to help? So good. Oh man. And then I don't know, having Elon Musk up there as well, like, what the fuck are you doing? That's the most autistic man of all time. I've seen non-verbal people drooling onto their fucking legs that are less autistic than Elon Musk on stage at a Trump rally. I'm dark gothic MAGA. You're a fucking dweeb. I've never in my life wanted to get up on stage and put a grown 50-year-old man into a fucking noogie until he cries. Until I've seen Elon Musk point at his fucking stupid Trump hat and be like, I'm dark gothic MAGA. Oh! See his fucking battle cry? Oh! Why does he always look like a guy who's doing an impression of a human? Because he is. The guy getting out there and doing his fucking star jumps. You know, I only just realized the other day that when he's jumping on stage, like a fucking idiot, you know he's trying to do the X logo? Showing off his little tummy. Dude, I could be the most staunch Republican, and if I see my candidate bring up a very autistic man to go, oh, do an X star jump and then go, I'm dark gothic MAGA, I'd be like, I'm fucking leaving. I just became a socialist. I'm gonna hand my guns in. I'm dark gothic MAGA. You're a nerd! You gotta leave Elon at home. You gotta go, yeah, Elon Musk has supported me because of my economic policy. He says he's gonna build more cars and create more jobs. Don't let him anywhere near the fucking microphone. One thing that Trump is just such a victim to is allowing people to suck up to him. It inevitably always ends up with weirdos and sycophants around him. Because he can't help it. You go, you're a really smart businessman. And he goes, oh, thanks, man. Come speak at my rally. You get up there, women are whores. Oh, fuck, is this going to cost us the votes? Like, I don't know why Kamala Harris's team hasn't done this on purpose. Like that, like if I'm a Dem, right? If I'm in charge of making the Democratic team win, this is how I do it. I get one person to be really nice to Donald Trump for like 15 minutes. I say, you've got a really cool haircut, and I think you're a very smart businessman, and also you're really cool. By the way, Trump Tower, that's a cool building. And then Donald Trump, straight after you say it, will be like, dude, you should speak at my rally. And then they get up there in a fucking Klan hood, and they just say the most obscene, racist shit ever, and you go, me and Trump, my buddy Trump, we always talk like this, behind closed doors. And then Kamala wins the election. Easy. Done. And honestly, you could do that 5 times in a row. Like, he wouldn't learn his lesson. He'd be like, what? How does this keep happening? He was so nice to me in person. He said he thought I was cool. I told him to promise me he wasn't going to pull out boot polish and do blackface live on stage. That's how I would defeat the Trump campaign. Is I would just send an endless amount of people to be really nice, and then until they get to be a speaker at a Trump rally, and then it would just be like a fucking, you know how like when Jerry Seinfeld was performing in Australia, people kept pro Palestine protesters kept interrupting his shows, one by one. He would start a joke, and then someone would be like, "Free Palestine!" They'd get kicked out. He'd be like, ugh. He'd get 5 minutes into the next joke. Someone else would stand up, "Free Palestine!" I would do that to a Trump rally, but instead of protesters, they would just be speakers, right? And every speaker, 5 minutes into their speech, bam, they're pulling out the boot polish and the lipstick. And speaking of Kamala Harris, this is what she looks like. Secret Service agents are running to the stage. No, don't let him get the boot polish yet. That's how Kamala Harris wins. Not that that's not kind of already happening naturally at his rallies. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, when I was watching Tony just like rip all these jokes, which again, they're great jokes. I was just watching like points get knocked off on the polls. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, ultimately my prediction is still I think Trump wins. But I'm so much less sure since that one rally. But then again, you know, like when Trump got shot, you heard me, I was all in. I was like, oh, he's just won the election. And then people just stopped giving a fuck about it. Like in 2 days. Like nothing seems to matter at all anymore. You know, like he can get shot and have like the coolest political photo ever. Like the most momentous occasion that's happened in politics in the last 50 years. A president surviving an assassination attempt live on camera. And then we were just like, yeah, boring. What's Logan Paul doing? You know, we just don't care about anything for more than 30 seconds anymore. So this, in the moment when I'm recording this, it feels important what happened at that rally. But like, fuck, the podcast comes out in a couple of days. You're probably listening to this now being like, wait, what rally? I can't even remember that. You're on to the next thing. But right now, I think he wins. But it's going to be so close. And I think that no matter who wins, it's going to be a giant shock to everyone that didn't vote for them. And it's going to be a massive shitstorm. Probably more so, I don't know. Who reacts worse? Because that's another thing. Who do you think loses worse? Because if Trump loses, you know, it's going to be January 6th all over again. It'll be that type vibe. The crazies will be like, it's bullshit. It was rigged. They cheated again. But if Trump wins, it's going to be like, we got to save America. This dictator's I don't know. It's going to be crazy. Whoever wins, it's going to be nuts. I think Trump handles it worse. I think. Because he doesn't like to lose. Although maybe a second loss will be like, oh, all right, fine. I don't know. What do I want to happen? That's a good question. What I want to happen is I want Trump to lose. Just so that he can continue campaigning. Because it's very funny. And I, who has no dog in the fight, as, an aspiring immigrant, I would like whoever's immigration policies are more lax to win. Purely selfishly. That's what I would like. So whenever Trump says, oh, Kamala Harris is pro open borders, I'm like, well, that's my gal. That's my gal. But you know what? I want Trump to lose for Trump because I don't think that even he realizes that he doesn't like being president. I think he likes wanting to be president. I think he likes trying to win and then winning. And then after, it's just a lot of paperwork, which I think he finds very boring. Remember when he was president? His aides were like, yeah, don't give him anything to read. He won't. You have to say it. You have to say things to him in the most interesting way possible, or he won't even take it in. Because when you're president, it's a lot of reading and what should I do? I'm in charge of the most important thing that human beings have ever made. The American military-industrial complex and the global economy. What should I do? That's boring. I don't want to be in charge of that. I want to play golf. I want to play golf and do a rally. Because if you're president, you don't do rallies. You're already president, especially if you don't have a second term. If you're president for the second time. You don't get to have another term. If he wins this one, he doesn't get to campaign anymore. Ever. That's awful. I think he likes to campaign. Let him campaign forever. That's what I hope for America. That being said, I don't think I could listen to Kamala's weird laugh for 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking annoying. I think that's Kamala's biggest problem is she's very off-putting and strange. Where every now and then I listen to her, I'm like, oh yeah, she's making sense, and then she'll be like, ah, ha, 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 ha. America's fucked, dude. Like those are your best two. Every now and then I think about Joe Biden being the president. Like, he's still the president. Isn't that funny? The guy's wandering around the house being like, just hello. I just imagine him like wandering around the White House. He's forgotten where the toilet is. Hello? Is anyone here? All the Secret Service are out protecting Kamala Harris on the road. Hello? The only two people left in the White House is Joe Biden and his killer dog. Can someone help me? I need to go to the bathroom, but the dog's in the hallway. I can't walk past him. He bites. Oh, man. This Joe Rogan stuff's very interesting, though. So, the latest update, if you watch my video about it, I said that I would, if I'm Joe, which I'm not, I would only have Trump on the podcast if I could also have Kamala Harris, because the show is that influential that it can literally swing a close election, right? Trump did Rogan. I think he did really well. I think he essentially said nothing, but he came across as like affable and likable and funny and just charismatic. Like he did what he's really good at, which is he just stepped into like TV mode. I think that he came across as a little bit crazy when he was trying to articulate why he think the election was stolen and then couldn't give a single actual credible piece of evidence, even when pressed by Joe 3 times over 20 minutes. Other than that, he was just like likable and, had banter. Made Joe laugh a few times, right? Which wins elections, like it or not. People don't give a fuck about policy. It's all about who was the most likable most recently. Now, Kamala Harris, right? the latest update from Mr. Joe Rogan himself is that Kamala Harris's team offered Joe Rogan 1 hour, not in studio, and Joe would have to travel to them. Joe obviously said, no, my podcasts are 3 hours, they happen in studio, I don't travel for anyone. I mean, when's the last time he did an episode that wasn't in studio? I think the closest thing was, did he do Edward Snowden via Zoom, maybe? Am I making that up? And that was a huge thing. I feel like that happened. I might be confusing, but I feel like that happened. But anyway, right? Of course Joe says no to this. Because, and I think that's if Kamala Harris does not do Joe Rogan, if Trump loses, it's because of the rally that just happened. If Kamala loses, it's because she didn't do Joe Rogan. I'm 100% serious. Because nowhere on earth can Kamala Harris reach young men better than on Joe Rogan. Could you imagine her for 3 hours on Joe Rogan being likable? She would win. Like, actually, it could fucking win her the election. If she nails a Joe Rogan in front of that many men, she could win. You look at what it did for Bernie Sanders. All right? Bernie Sanders absolutely fucking crushed Joe Rogan. And it almost created a groundswell so powerful that he could have run. Obviously, the Democrats didn't allow that because it's an evil machine. And the people don't get anything they ask for. On either side. Sorry, you're getting the crazy. Because they listen to the machine. Anyway, right? If she doesn't do it, and she loses, that's why. And all these people go, oh, Joe Rogan's fucking crazy for saying no. No, he's not. The Joe Rogan podcast is a 3 hour in-studio thing. Like, that's what it is. To do it somewhere else and limit it to an hour, like in an uncomfortable environment, like a hotel room, that's not what the show is. Like, you fundamentally change the show. And also, if Joe did do that, I think it would actually be worse for Kamala than not doing it at all. Because if you contrast Donald Trump's 3 hour, nice, easygoing podcast that's like, seems to be not pressured or manufactured, it was authentic from both sides, not controlled by Trump. It was a Joe Rogan experience episode. If you contrasted that to like a 55-minute, super quick, stressful, manufactured episode with Kamala Harris in a hotel room that's clearly controlled by her team, Joe looks out of place, it would just make everyone be like, oh, the more authentic candidate is Trump. Because this is fake and weird. So, yeah, Kamala Harris trying to make Rogan do that is such a stupid move. Which either means they actually don't understand how powerful Joe Rogan's influence is, or not so much his influence, but the platform that is the Rogan experience. They don't understand how powerful that would be. Or they're actually terrified that Kamala Harris for 3 hours would fucking destroy their campaign. Neither of which are good things. It's either they're stupid or they're scared. Both of those things are not good. And all these people are going, oh, Joe Rogan's a fucking... Joe Rogan's like up himself. He's a podcaster. She's the vice president. She might be the president one day. He won't have her on his show. I would argue that she's trying to win an election, and he has the most important platform that she could want in terms of like trying to win, which is men 18 to 50. That's what she needs. That's what she's not connecting with. The same way that Trump's not connecting with women, Kamala's not connecting with men. Right? Now, Trump, I don't think he could go on Call Her Daddy and impress the women. I don't think that's possible. Kamala, I do think that if she did Rogan, and if she just relaxed and she was herself and they had a laugh, I think she could impress a fuckload of men. I don't think Trump can do that with women the way that Kamala could with men on Joe Rogan. And people are like, oh, you know, Kamala has a schedule. She can't just, dude, change the schedule. Like, whatever fucking rally she would be doing to 30,000 people, 100,000 people, is nowhere near as important as talking about aliens and weed on Joe Rogan. I'm sorry that that's the world that we live in, but that's the world that we live in. If she got on there and for 3 hours they talked about Area 51, she wins. Easy. If she goes, Joe Rogan, if I win, I'll take you to Area 51. He would be the biggest campaigner for Harris you've ever seen. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Like, I would love to know what you guys think, because I feel like we're like on this show we're all outsiders from America for the most part, and the American listeners that are here are tolerant enough of my bashing your country and your culture to also be a little bit on the outside of what you guys are seeing. What do you think's going to happen? Post your predictions in. I think, at least right now, and I could change my mind, but right now the official prediction is that Trump wins. I've got a 50-50 track record. The first election, I said Trump was going to win. I was very confident he won. The second election, I thought Trump was going to win. I wasn't anywhere near as confident. He lost. Now, I think he wins, but I think it's going to be so fucking close, and I'm not going to be surprised if he loses. But I think he just gets it. But if Kamala goes on Rogan and she crushes it, dude, that actually could be the reason she wins. Anyway, we should probably move on here. Dude, I've been learning to play the harmonica. I'm loving it. It's so fun. It's such a fun little instrument. It's cool. I'm not there. I'm really struggling with single notes, and I'm not going to subject you to that until I know how to play it. But I've been having a lot of fun, dude. A lot of you know what I've been doing in my spare time? A whole lot of sucking and blowing. A lot of you might be thinking, gee, Lewis Spears is starting to sound a lot like my mother. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about playing the harmonica. Unfortunately, I'm going to turn into that guy that just has a musical instrument 24/7 in his pocket, rolling around with it in his pocket and his bag, so that I can be that mysterious guy sitting in the park in the grass by himself, just fucking playing the blues. And I know that that's so pretentious and annoying, but I can't help myself. I couldn't. I tried so hard. I got a couple of TikTok videos of harmonica, and I thought, I've always wanted to play that instrument ever since I was a kid. I saw a couple of YouTube videos, and I thought, no, I'm not going to be that guy. I won't do it. And then I saw one Sonny Boy Williams video, and I thought, that's it. I can't help myself. I bought a harmonica. It arrived. It was out of my fucking hands. And now, as soon as I turn this camera off, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be sucking and I'm going to be blowing. Sucking and blowing. That's me. If you ever think of yourself, I wonder what Lewis is doing in his free time. One of two things. I'll let you guess. Update on the big swing, guys. It's going magnificently. It's really, really working. And I want to bring you guys in a little bit more with the plan. So the big swing, all right, is I'm just going all in on YouTube. I don't have shows until January. We just locked in some shows in Perth. I don't have anything on until January, and then after Perth, I don't think I have anything on until like April, right? So essentially, from now, or well, from September to April, with a little break of like 2 weeks of shows in Perth, I'm just doing YouTube. Like 6 months, I'm just all in on one platform, and it's fucking working. And I'm telling you what I'm doing because I want you to be part of it, because I've always been like that, and I think it's really important to kind of welcome you guys into the plan and what I'm trying to do and the long-term vision of it. So YouTube is the most important platform for stand-up comedy. TikTok's obviously important, crowd work clips and all that, but I don't know how long that's going to last. TikTok might get banned, and I think that ultimately stand-up comedy is material. And my jokes, if you see me live, you know, my jokes are like 10-minute bits. I can't write a joke that's 2 minutes anymore. I used to be able to do that when I was a beginner comic. Now, when I talk about something, I keep building on it and building, and it expands. YouTube is where you post 10, 20-minute bits, right? So for me and my style of writing, I think it's YouTube. And also, if you want to drop a comedy special, fuck man, YouTube's better than Netflix. Almost. Not even almost. You look at Kill Tony, you look at fucking Matt Rife's big comedy specials, what Andrew Schultz has done. It's YouTube, dude. I want to build a platform where I can drop like a 55-minute, 1 hour comedy special on, and it just does fucking 500,000 in like 2 days. And that's why I've started doing longer videos, right? I've been dropping videos that like are minimum 20 minutes. Some of them have been, I think, almost 30, right? And I'm doing that to kind of attract the type of viewer that has a long attention span, because that's ultimately who I want at my live shows. I don't want fucking TikTok addicted teens. I want like people that are like locked in to words and thoughts coming to the shows. But also, if I'm dropping like 2 to 3 20 to 30 minute videos a week that are doing 100 to 300,000 views on my YouTube, if I've been doing that for a year, and then they're all funny and they're all like, I'm filming them like they're stand-up comedy, I'm holding the microphone, I've got the lights behind me, I'm making it look like a stage as much as I can without going too far so that it looks like I'm performing to no one, right? If I'm getting 100 to 300,000 views on my YouTube, if I drop an hour-long comedy special, fuck, that could do like 5 million. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's, if you set up an audience that's used to tuning in, like, that's what will eat up a comedy special. So that's like my theory, and that's what I'm going forward with. Now, what I'm also doing is, because obviously Keelan is currently being held in custody in Europe for all that horrible shit that he did on Kick to that homeless woman. So hopefully he'll get bail, and I don't know, we'll put him on a boat or something, and he'll come back and be able to edit for me. But right now it's just me, so I'm pretty limited to the amount of videos that I can do. I kind of only really do like 2 a week, and this podcast and the Patreon as well, right? So I've just really been focused on like the really super trending YouTube stuff to try and build up an audience to get my channel really, really healthy. Because I want to build it up to a point where I can drop anything and it'll get like 100,000 or 200,000 views. But to earn that, you really need to just be like pumping out super trending stuff again and again and again and again. And also what I've learned is I read this amazing book. I've got it here. What's it called? What's it called? It's called the YouTube Formula. And it's literally just about how to run a successful YouTube channel. And I've like written all in it. I've got heaps of notes everywhere. Just so you can see I've scrawled all over it. And I'm really just trying to apply what I've read in this book. And I've been talking about a lot of other more successful YouTubers. Like the guy that recommended this to me, his YouTube name is Atozy. I've been talking to him a lot. He's got a much more successful YouTube channel than I do. And I've really been trying to like apply. And that's why I've like really learned how to do YouTube thumbnails, and I'm being really particular with the way that I title my YouTube videos. I'm trying to fit my channel into the algorithm of channels that are so much bigger than mine, because I really think that I can do it. I can do YouTube commentary in a much more different way than most commentators are, which is I can do it. I can't do it as quick. I can't be as on time. I probably will never be as like plugged in and aware of the culture of YouTube, because I'm just so plugged into stand-up. But I know that I can do it funnier, and I know that I can do it higher quality if I put more effort into it, into the writing. I know that, right? So if I can put my videos next to all of these channels that are so much bigger than me, and people get recommended them when they watch these other bigger channels, if someone who's really locked into that space can watch one of my videos and they see straight away like the minute of just the best jokes that I could write that day about that topic, I think they'll be like, fuck, this guy's funny. I'll watch the next one. And they'll click on my face the next time that they see it. That's why I'm putting my face in all the thumbnails. I could probably get more views if I took my face out of it and I just put like a real ugly fucked up photo of Mr. Beast and was like, this is terrible. I could probably get more views, but I want people to associate my face and my thumbnail with an energy. That's why in the thumbnails I'm wearing the red jacket and it's got a text, and I'm trying to title them in a specific way. And I'm really trying to leech views from channels that are so much bigger than mine, so I can build up this audience of people that keep coming back. And if I can do that for like 6 months to a year, I will then be able to post whatever the fuck I want, because I will have impressed these people again and again and again, to the point where they trust me enough to post something that they don't really care about, like a topic they don't care about or they don't know about or whatever, and they'll be like, I've never heard of this, I don't know anything about that, but I know it's Lewis and I know he's fucking funny. So that's why I've only exclusively done really, really trending stuff. And also what I've noticed as well, and you're going to see the change on this podcast too, I experimented with it last episode and it really worked, like a shocking amount. So the way the YouTube algorithm works, and this might be too inside baseball, but I think that some of you guys are pretty interested in this, and I like telling you what I'm doing because I feel like we're doing it together. You know, you guys support me on Patreon, you guys buy the tickets, you guys buy the merch, and you're all like on board with the mission. This is the fucking hypothesis and the mission of the big swing on YouTube, right? The way that the YouTube algorithm works is it's all recommendations, right? It's very much like word association. It's almost like how our brains work, right? Which is interesting, right? When you think of the word blue or the color blue, what else do you think of? Fish, water, rain, you know, right? So the algorithm is very much association based, right? So if everyone's making videos about the latest thing that Mr. Beast did, I make one about that. YouTube now starts pushing shit out to the type of person that watches this commentary content. If I can leech away even fucking 1% of the millions of people that are watching commentary type stuff, and they can come and watch one video, and it's funnier than every other fucking commentary YouTuber out there, and it's very different, and it looks like stand-up comedy. I want the type of viewer that's like into internet culture and politics and news and media, but loves stand-up. I don't think anyone is covering that market. And I think that's a big market on YouTube. And that's what I want, because I'm a stand-up comedian first, right? So I do one video. And if that gets 300,000 views, right? With I think the first or the second Mr. Beast video I did got 300,000 views. I was like, instantly, my next video is about that. So that everyone that watched that video, because those 300,000 people, fucking hardly any of them were subscribed. They were mostly first-time viewers. They'd never seen me before. So I'm like, all right, I've connected with a brand new person who's never heard of me before. So the next video, they're not going to subscribe until they see me 2 or 3 times, right? So the next video, bang, it's that KSI thing. So it's the same topic. It's a continuation of the first video. That one did like, I think 130,000 views, right? So it got half, but it was much better performing than all of my other videos other than that first big one. And guess who watched it? A fuckload of those people that watched the first video. Now, a lot of them be like, dude, I'm seeing this guy again. He's fucking funny. They're subscribing. They're sticking around. Then, the next video I do is another video it's a video that kind of nobody cared about. It was the Shannon Blake one, right? It only did 30,000, but guess what? That's so much better than the last video I did about something that wasn't trending. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm learning, right? It got demonetized as well because I talked about squirting. Stupid, dumb, idiot. But then, basically what I've been doing is just building on the videos that are doing really well and putting myself in the arena of channels that are so much bigger than me. And that's why I'm only doing this like really big, really popular YouTube drama. Because I'm only capable of doing 1 to 2 videos a week. So I got to use my energy really well. And I need to be making stuff that's super trendy, that's going to get those clicks. That's why I'm doing a specific type of thumbnail and a specific type of title. But I'm putting a huge amount of effort into the actual content of those videos. So I am playing the game, but I think that by playing the game, getting a bunch of new eyeballs that have never heard of me, and then they come, basically what I'm doing is they come accepting low effort slop, and they get like a fucking meal that's really good, that's really funny, that's well researched, that has like a real honest opinion. And hopefully that will make me stand out when compared to a lot of the other competitors. Which, by the way, it's not a diss to all these other people. They're doing it, really well. And honestly, I think almost the average viewer doesn't want what I'm doing, and that's fine. I think the average person is actually just wanting information delivered as quickly as possible, and that's what these other commentary YouTubers are really good at, which is just like, this happened, bang, 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 all right, I'll see you in fucking 40 minutes, some of these channels, right? Because I see the comments. I'm getting like 2 types of comments. The most common, thank God, is, holy shit. I'm getting 3 types of comments, right? The first type of comment is from new viewers. They've never seen me before. They're going, what the fuck? This is really funny. Like, they're shocked. Oh my God. I didn't know this type of video could be funny. Or, oh man, this is like how commentary used to be. Oh, finally, someone's like treating this not seriously and having fun. This is great. I love this. The other type of comment, again, they've never seen me before. Why is this guy telling jokes? This is serious. Why is this guy yelling? That's a much smaller minority. It's like, oh man, what's going on? They don't like it. They want the fucking slop bullshit stuff, or they're a little bit offended, whatever. So we get rid of them. That's great. And then the third type of comment is like you guys, which is like, oh man, I'm so glad he's uploading again. You're killing it, Lewis. We love that. It's awesome to see you doing this type of stuff again. I've always loved this from you, right? So that's awesome. So it means that it's really connecting with old viewers, which is great because I don't want to alienate you guys, but it's also bringing in a huge amount of people that have never seen me before, which is fucking great because that hasn't happened for so long, right? So now here's the plan with this show, right? I wouldn't call it a rebrand, but it's just like a little bit of we're just shifting a little bit, right, of how it's going to be presented. So I've been trying to grow this fucking podcast on YouTube for so long by making it really good. And I think it's really fucking good. I think it's in a really good space. I haven't missed an episode all year, but it's only grown a little bit. I'm like, fuck, okay, what am I doing wrong? It's just the packaging. So we're gonna keep the inside of the podcast the same. We're gonna change the packaging a bit. So you'll probably notice last episode, have a look at the title. What was the title? It was like The Downfall of Mr. Beast, right? And the episode wasn't really about that. I touched on that a little bit. But for the most part, it was a normal episode. But I packaged it completely differently. I just thought, what if I completely disguised the fact that this is a podcast? What would happen to the views? Fucking skyrocketed, right? So I just made it look like a continuation of my best performing video on my main channel that week. Because again, it's all like word association. Because YouTube is just like, this viewer liked this Lewis Spears video. Maybe they'll like his podcast. But if my podcast looks completely different to a well-performing video, YouTube's like, oh, these two things are different. I won't recommend them to this type of viewer. When really, I need people who like my main channel to come over here because they'll probably like this even more. But if I make this look completely different, they're not even going to get the opportunity to try it because they won't get served it. Because YouTube will be like, oh, this is not what this type of person watches, so we won't view it. So if I package it differently and I make it look exactly like my main channel, but way longer, YouTube goes, oh, another type of video that this viewer watches. This viewer liked Lewis Spears talking about Mr. Beast. You will probably like Lewis Spears talking about Mr. Beast for even longer. I'll recommend it. They click it. The podcast I did last week was fucking huge. It's sitting on like almost 5,000 views. I think that's the biggest podcast I've done all year that wasn't a guest. And it's because I packaged it different. Took the episode number out of the title. Because I think the episode number, I mean, I do this. I go, fuck, episode 6,000. I got to start at episode 1. So I'm taking the episode numbers out. I'll say them instead of putting them in the title. I'm changing the thumbnail to, instead of being branded as a Spearhead Sundays, I'm just going to make it my face. So, yeah, I'm saying this and I'm telling you this because I don't want you to think that the podcast is changing. It's not changing. It's going to be exactly the same. It's just going to be packaged completely differently to bring in more people to grow this thing. And if last episode was anything to go by, I think it's working. So, yeah, that's the update with the big swing. Is like I'm really, because before I've just been doing videos and haven't really been thinking strategically about the type of viewer I'm trying to attract and what YouTube wants from me. Because I've just kind of been like, oh, I'll just make whatever I think is funny, blah, blah, blah. And that is cool, and there is opportunity to do that, but only if you're playing the game most of the time. Like, you have to be making shit that works, basically. So I'm like, okay, instead of just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, let's actually focus and create strategically to grow the channel while keeping the videos as high quality as possible. And basically what I've worked out is if I can fuse my stand-up with commentary, it'll fucking work. And I've been getting a few complaints being like, oh, you're just doing fucking Mr. Beast videos. And it's like, yeah, dude, because they're working. Because I got to pay my mortgage. Because I have to get views. Because if I don't fucking make this work, it won't fucking work. I can be making the best videos in the world, but if I don't package it properly and if I don't do what the website wants, no one sees it, I'm screaming into the fucking void. All right? That sucks for everybody involved, because the last thing I would want is be getting 12,000 views on videos again. All right? Which was happening. It's like we had to fucking change something. But here's the thing. If I play the game most of the time, that means once a month, twice a month, fuck it, maybe 3 times a month when I've got a team again, I get to do those really high effort, big risk, let's see if this works videos. That's the stunt videos that you guys fucking love. And really, that's no different from what I had been doing, right? Because pretty much what I had been doing was like uploading sometimes, and then once a month I'd make a big video. And that'd be great, and those big videos would impress, and I love doing them, and they're so fucking good, and they're much better than all of the other stuff that I do. But if I'm only doing them, I'm not paying the bills, and no one's even seeing them. Those big, high-effort videos only work if I have budget to pull them off and if the channel is healthy enough that they actually get views. So if I'm pulling 100,000 views a video on really good commentary videos that are about trending things, when I post that fucking stunt video, when I post a video about me getting on F-Boy Island, right? Fuck, who knows? They could hit 500,000, right? It's all about building up a healthy channel with really engaged, excited viewers that have been watching me for months, nail it, so that when I put out those high effort projects, they're excited for it. And even though like the algorithm might not know what to do with it, you guys will. That's the theory. That's the science behind what I'm trying to do. And it appears to be working. This is the first month. I just finished October. That's the first month I've done this for a full month. September, we kind of started halfway through. I had a bit of up and down. But this month, October, I did it almost perfect. And I actually fucking made money. I got a brand deal. Holy shit. All of the views I've gotten on YouTube this year, half of them I got in October. That's insane. And it's because I put my ego aside and I stopped trying to do impossible things like running Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and Facebook and YouTube and the vlogs and the podcast all at the same time. And I just thought, I'm going to fuck everything off. I'm just going to do the podcast. All right, now I've been doing the podcast properly. I'm going to add in just YouTube. And I'm doing that properly. And it's because I fucking did it right. And everything is going to be built around YouTube and the podcast, and we'll slowly branch out from there. And that's how we're going to build this thing back up again, and it's working. And I'm so grateful to you guys for being supportive, for liking, for commenting, for sending me messages, and for being excited about what I'm making. Because this is the first time in a long time where I've been really genuinely, consistently excited about every single thing that I'm making. This podcast, the videos that I'm putting out, it's sick. And you know what's crazy, dude? I completely gave up on the idea of even trying on Instagram and TikTok and trying to make short form or stand-up clips or anything like that, because I thought, I don't have time. That's something that I can only do if I have an editor. So I'm going to fuck them off. I'm not even going to try. You know what's happened since I started doing YouTube? They've been really fucking growing on Instagram and TikTok. I've been getting millions of views on Instagram and TikTok because I've been taking those minute-long intro rants and just posting them as real talks. And I've been getting millions of views. It's amazing. I do YouTube properly and everything else is working. The podcast is the biggest it's ever been. I'm the biggest I've ever been on TikTok and Instagram. It's fucking working. Holy shit, finally. It's been a long road and we're not all the way there. I'm still walking a tightrope. I could lose balance. I feel like I'm maintaining my balance right now, but it's really working and I'm so grateful to you, especially the Patreon supporters who have been so fucking amazing and integral. Like, for real, I would have lost the house if it weren't for the Patreon supporters and you guys. And you guys are the ones who showed up because, again, I wasn't posting on YouTube. I didn't talk about that anywhere else. The only reason any of this is working is because when I asked for help last year, you guys fucking responded with a resounding fuck yeah, let's do it. So thank you. It's working. And I'm going to try my best to keep it continually working. So bear with me with all of the super trending stuff. I'm loving making it and I genuinely do care about it. It's not some like sellout shit of, oh, I hate it too, but I have to do it. I really like doing it. But the reason I'm not doing all of the other stuff that you guys like and that I really like is because I simply don't have the manpower yet. So all this trending stuff is going to bring in the views, which brings in money, which brings in brand deals, which brings in Patreon supporters, and that's budget to bring on a team again and to start putting out the higher effort stuff and the stand-up clips as well. So yeah, it's all step by step, man. So yeah, I've gotten a couple of complaints about, oh, you're just doing the fucking training stuff. And it's like, yeah, man, it's really working. Like, step by step, have patience. I'm adding on. I only did this podcast for a fucking year before I started uploading to YouTube. And I've only just started. So it's been like 6 weeks or something. But it's working, step by step, man. All right. I'm going to continue on Patreon. I want to talk about some books I've been reading. And I've been teaching myself how to draw. So if you're really interested in that more kind of personal, non-comedy type of stuff, I'll be talking about that on the Patreon episode. I'm Lewis Spears. Thank you for watching and supporting. I'll talk to you on Patreon. Have a shit one. Bye.